Marcus Taylor is a remarkable young man whose introduction into rugby all happened due to a natural disaster. Believe me when I tell you, it's absolutely true. Marcus is thriving. He's now at Bristol University studying a medical degree and loving life playing the game of rugby also. What an incredible story, and listening to his route into rugby. Marcus, I think it'd be fair to say your route into rugby is quite a unique one. Can you just tell me how you first engaged in the game?
Kind of came into rugby a bit of an accident, to be honest. My parents grew up in Malaysia, so they weren't really exposed much to the sport growing up, and my short stature didn't really lend me to being, like the next professional rugby player. I never really considered the sport growing up that much, but come the first day back to school in year 7, we all sat around and news came in that there was a volcano that I heard had erupted somewhere in Europe, which meant that a lot of the boys in the rugby squad were actually stuck abroad on holiday. So the coach came around in a bit of a panic, came up to us all, was trying to find some willing tributes to put themselves forward for the game. And I think in a bit of a moment of bravery, probably trying to impress some of my mates. So you know what, I'll give it a shot.
What was it about the game which made you think, wouldn't mind giving this another go?
With rugby, you have to be a very close-knit team, have good communications and really trust each other. Getting involved in a sport like that and being able to play, I just found it really amazing, and I've managed to meet a really nice group of people doing it as well. University's
built around educating, isn't it? As well as developing the holistic side of people and developing them as human beings. So you've been very keen to twin your medical degree as well as playing rugby, which lots of people said might not have been the best thing for you, right?
Coming to university, I was very keen to get involved in some sort of society or club or team sport, and going to the Freshers' Fair, loads of these societies were put on offer. But something I was warned about coming into uni was trying to balance a degree alongside a sport.
Where did that warning come from? Like your family, parents, friends?
So coming through, I think there were a few boys I knew who had gone through university or gone into the working world and just found that they loved to play rugby or any other sport that they did play. But trying to balance it with their job and with their other commitments they had, found it quite kind of time consuming and sometimes a bit difficult to manage their time. And going to a degree like medicine, I guess similar to quite a lot of other degrees, there's a lot of hours and sometimes you're on placement, so you're out of the city, which could make it a bit difficult to get back in time for training and socials and get to know the team as well as you might like to. So that was where a bit of the hesitancy maybe came about. But yeah, I chose to go with the Medics rugby team in Bristol, and I haven't really looked back since.
And was that a nice way of being able to find a community within a larger community, especially when you're not brand new, trying to make friends and everything else? Was that your way of being able to socialise a bit more?
Coming to uni, I didn't really know anyone else here. So being able to join a club like the Medics rugby team, where not only we would be able to play together on the pitch, have socials off the pitch, but also we were all kind of going through the same thing, doing a medicine degree. It was a great way to find a group of mates within that who would all be able to kind of support each other through playing, but also through the time in uni in general.
Now you've made that leap of faith and you've joined your medical rugby club, do you think it's added to it? Do you think it has been the distraction that people said it might be?
I think it's really helped me out balance everything really well.
Okay.
Being in a degree, a lot of the time, all your time could be focused, kind of working towards exams and things like that. And a lot of the time people may kind of forget to take time for themselves, have a bit of time to relax and take care of themselves. So rugby for me has been a really nice way to have those kind of marks in the week where I know, I'm going to go back to Bristol now, play a match, see my friends, go to a social, and then head back into the work. And alongside that as well, I think the team's such a good support network to help get you through kind of tough times that you may face during your university, and everyone's there to support each other through it and help each other out with any work or any commitments that they might have. So I found it really useful.
The transition from underage rugby into adult rugby could seem like a daunting one, and you were presented with that. You're going to university, park rugby, don't let it be a distraction. But what you're telling me is that it's actually been quite positive. What would you say to anyone that's enjoyed their rugby and wants to continue into their adult years?
I found that coming to university and getting involved in adult rugby was a bit daunting at first, especially going from playing with people your own age to going to play against people maybe 5-10 years older than you. But I think coming to university and joining a team like the Medics rugby team, I think a lot of the boys starting out hadn't played rugby before and were coming to look for a new experience. So there's such a wide range of abilities, and you'll definitely find a club that you can get involved in. Getting involved in socials and getting to really know people outside of playing on the pitch has been something that has been integral to my time at the UBH. And they honestly made me feel so welcome, and through that social I met a group of boys who are honestly some of my best mates to the day. In fact, yeah, my brother actually just recently joined the club because I think he's heard so much about how much I've been raving on about what a great group of boys it is. In his first year, he couldn't really find a group that was really the right fit for him. And then this year, coming to the club, I think he's managed to really fit in a really nice community, and he's found it a really good group to get involved in.
That's amazing. When we think of rugby, it can be defined in so many different ways. 80 minutes, 100 by 50, the post at the very end. But everything you're describing, it's not about the game on the pitch. That is the only game that means so much to us. So I'm so glad that you got involved in rugby, that you stayed in rugby.
Lovely to meet you.
Really good to meet you. Cheers,
to meet
mate.
You.